Receive this divinely revealed miracle by September 27th. Your sacred transformation awaits. In the heart of a quaint English village nestled between rolling hills, the whispers of hope resonated through the air. The old church, with its weathered stone and vibrant stained-glass windows, stood tall, a beacon of reassurance for the weary souls seeking solace. Lucy, a devoted mother of 3, was the guiding light in her family. Each night, she led them in fervent prayer, her voice rising like incense before the altar of their faith, warmly echoing in the stillness of their home. Yet, as her husband Mark battled a cruel, terminal illness, shadows crept into their lives, dimming the once bright warmth of their home. As the day of divine promise approached, unease loomed heavy. Yet, the villagers rallied, prayers rising like smoke towards heaven in a desperate appeal to St. Jude, the patron saint of hopeless causes. This was a community of unwavering faith, but now, doubt threatened to unravel the fabric that held them together. Villagers spoke softly about the impending date September 27th. Would the miracle they yearned for come to fruition? Lucy's heart sank as Mark's condition worsened, but at the prayer vigil in the church, something shifted. In the flickering candlelight, she felt a presence, a divine rush that stirred her soul. "I see it!" Lucy cried, her voice trembling with revelation. Visions of miraculous healing danced in her mind, bright and vibrant, wrapping her in an embrace of warmth. It was as though the heavens opened, shining a light on her family's darkest hour. Her heart raced with newfound hope, almost overflowing. Before she could rush home, her mind racing with the news of her vision, she was met with gut-wrenching silence. The words of her neighbors churned in the air. Mark's condition had taken an alarming turn. Anxiety rippled through the village, chatter transforming from holy aspirations to cold medical realities. Fear seeped into their conversations, fracturing the once united spirit of the community. Determined not to let despair consume her, Lucy organized a candlelight procession to St. Jude's shrine, passionately inviting all families to join her under the twinkling stars. As neighbors gathered, the flickering candle flames illuminated their faces, reflecting both hope and apprehension. She could feel the tension, the whispers laced with doubt. But she urged them all, "Let us come together in faith. We must rise above the darkness." Just then, in the heart of the gathering, a hush fell over the crowd. Candles shone like stars in the night, voices lifting in prayer, calling upon divine intervention. Lucy's heart surged. Could their collective faith spark a miracle? Yet, just as she felt her spirit lifted, a tension held its breath in the atmosphere. Before we continue, I need to tell you about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, click the bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can leave a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. As the fervent prayers harmonized with the gentle breeze, an astonishing moment unfolded. A radiant light surged forth from the shrine. A collective gasp echoed through the villagers as the miracle began to manifest. Could it be? Healing lights danced in the air, drawing eyes wide with wonder. Hope flickered anew, but doubt still lingered, threatening to cloud the air above them. Lucy stood at the edge of belief and uncertainty, waiting as the miracle began to take shape. What did this mean for Mark? What awaited them as they stood together in anticipation? The questions loomed heavy, yet her heart throbbed with a resilient faith that maybe, just maybe, divine purpose was unfolding before them. The radiant light from the shrine enveloped the villagers like a warm blanket. Lucy felt the divine presence wash over her, filling her with an indescribable peace. She closed her eyes, taking a deep breath, letting the warmth cradle her hopes. The flickering candles seemed to pulse with the rhythm of her heart, illuminating the sacred ground beneath her feet. "Look! Look there!" an elder exclaimed, pointing to the shrine. The villagers turned, eyes wide with awe. The light intensified, shimmering in a kaleidoscope of colors: blues, greens, and golds. It seemed to reach out like an inviting hand, promising healing and comfort to all who believed. Lucy's heart raced. Was this the miracle they had been praying for? Could it be that hope was no longer just a shimmer on the horizon, but an unfolding reality? She felt the urgency in the air, a call to move closer to the light. An electric spirit surged through her, urging her feet to step forward. With each step, Lucy could sense the whispers of the villagers, their voices intermingled in a symphony of faith. "We trust," they murmured. "We believe." The unity of their belief formed a bridge, a sacred bond binding them together in this significant moment. Lucy's spirit soared as she embraced their collective pursuit of a miracle. Suddenly, a gentle breeze swept through, rustling the leaves overhead as if nature itself were rejoicing. Lucy opened her eyes, gazing at the faces around her, each lit with fervor and hope. She locked eyes with her oldest child, Daniel, whose wide gaze mirrored her swirling emotions. In that moment, Lucy understood her children were not just spectators, they were integral to this divine narrative, filled with their own dreams and faith. As the light flickered brighter, Mark's laughter echoed in her mind, the sound that filled their home with warmth and joy. What would it be like to have him healthy and whole again? She felt a pang of urgency as she thought of him, alone in their dimly lit living room. But here, surrounded by the community, a voice echoed in her mind, urging her to trust in God's timing. "Together we plead. We stand firm in our faith." Lucy called, her voice rising with confidence. The villagers took up her words, their voices cascading like waves. The collective energy forged a sacred melody that rose into the night sky, enchanting all within earshot. But then, a whisper of doubt crept into her heart. Would their prayers be enough? Could this miracle truly touch her beloved Mark? Almost as if sensing her turmoil, a gentle flash of the light surged forth, dancing with brilliant intensity, as if reassuring her that all was not lost. Suddenly, Lucy heard a distant sound, a soft, melodic hum that seemed to pulse with life. It vibrated deep in her chest, weaving through the fabric of the night, weaving hope anew. Her heart leaped at the thought, what if this was the invitation she had been waiting for? As the hum enveloped her, the night air thickened with anticipation. What did it all mean? She yearned for clarity in her heart, she believed they were on the cusp of something great. Perhaps this was a divine punctuation mark in their story, a chapter ready to unfold like the rising dawn. The villagers remained transfixed, eyes glued to the shrine, breaths held in reverent admiration. Lucy realized this moment was more than just about Mark, it represented every soul intertwined with theirs, every heart clinging to hope. "I can feel it. Something momentous is coming." A voice rang out, igniting the crowd, and Lucy instinctively felt it too. As the miracle began to resonate through their lives, a sense of sacred urgency gripped Lucy. God was on the move, and she must remain vigilant to understand the plans unfolding. What would happen next? Was this the beginning of their transformation, or just the first step in a more profound journey? With her heart beating in synchronicity with the pulsing light, Lucy braced herself. The promise of a sacred transformation loomed larger. What divine revelation awaited them all? The vibrancy of the light continued to pulse, each heartbeat echoing a divine rhythm that resonated deep within Lucy. Every flicker seemed to whisper promises of hope, each color weaving a tapestry of faith that enveloped the village. Lucy could feel the energy growing, a palpable force that wrapped around her family, her neighbors, and her own spirit. She turned her eyes upward, seeking guidance from the stars, traditionally symbols of hope and direction. The hum that had washed over them now became a song, a pulsing hymn that stirred the very ground beneath their feet. It was as if the heavens and the earth were responding to their cries, a cosmic ballet of faith and desire. What if, Lucy pondered, this is a turning point? She dared not finish that thought fully but allowed herself to dream of a day where the burden of her worries might lift. Around her, the villagers stood, eyes closed, faces radiant. One woman near the front, Mary, lifted her arms high, her fingers extended as though to catch the shimmering light. "Lord, we are ready. We are open." Her voice rang out, harmonizing beautifully with the growing flood of prayers. Others joined her, raising their voices in harmony, a chorus of yearning that ascended toward the stars. "Give us strength. Bring us miracles." The cries echoed, binding their spirits in unity. Lucy took a deep breath and felt that familiar pang of love for Mark. She whispered a prayer specifically for him, a plea she had recited countless times: "Lord, revive him, bring him back to us whole and healed." She let the words seep into her heart, trusting that they ventured into the divine realm where possibilities abound. The crescendo of voices swelled around her, lifting her spirit as she echoed Mary's beautiful words, joining in with her whole heart. The light surged in response, a radiant wave that seemed to beckon her closer still. It was then that Lucy caught sight of something extraordinary. At the heart of the light stood a figure tall, cloaked in hues of gold and white, basking in the luminescence. Though the details were indistinct, Lucy felt a draw, a beckoning invitation. "Stay steadfast," the figure seemed to convey, exuding a warmth that melted her fears. In that instant, Lucy was consumed by a wave of peace, flooding her with the knowledge that they were not alone in this moment. The hum transformed into a voice, gentle yet powerful, weaving through the fabric of the night. "Believe and receive." It echoed through her, filling every corner of her being with a warmth she could hardly describe. With rapture, the villagers lifted their heads, their voices weaving together like an intricate quilt of faith. Their eyes sparkled with newfound determination, reflecting the brilliance of the light that enveloped them. But then, a question washed over Lucy's heart like a sudden wave. What must they let go of to fully embrace the miracle waiting for them? Was it doubt? Fear? A part of her recognized that individual transformation needed to accompany their collective prayers. The thought hung heavy in the air, mingling with the flickering lights and vibrant hymns, the juxtaposition of faith and uncertainty. Would they embrace the change and allow the divine to reshape their narratives? Tension filled the space as anticipation hung thick, ready to burst like the rising dawn. The atmosphere thrummed with energy, and Lucy clung to the flickering assurance. What lay ahead felt unpredictable and brimming with divine potential. "Something grand is unfolding," someone shouted. And with that, Lucy's spirit soared once more, ignited by hope and the promise of the unknown. Their hearts were tender yet alive, ready for transformation. But could they truly open themselves to receiving the revelation meant for them? As the light continued to dance through the night, curling around them like a heavenly embrace, Lucy stood firm, trembling with anticipation. In that moment, she knew that the divine had set the stage. What would come next? Would the light spill blessings into their lives, forever altering their paths? The air shimmered with expectation as Lucy stood amidst the villagers, their energy forming a cocoon of hope around them. Each heartbeat resonated with the divine pulse that filled the night. They were no longer merely souls adrift, they were a collective force, vibrant in faith, woven together with threads of love and yearning. As the figure in the light seemed to shimmer and morph, Lucy felt a stirring in her heart, a recognition that transcendence was near. The light whispered to her, igniting her spirit with an urge to understand the depths of their calling. Would this moment be the end of their trials, or the beginning of something extraordinary? Suddenly, Mary's voice soared above the rest, as if casting a net to catch every tremor of their hopes. "Lord, take our fear and transform it into faith." The villagers echoed her fervor, their prayers mingling with the winds, carried upward, cascading like a waterfall into the heavens. A cool breeze swept through, tousling their hair, and yet, it was refreshing, a cleansing. The divine presence felt tangible, like it wrapped around each individual, igniting a tiny flame within their hearts. Lucy's thoughts drifted to Mark again, amplifying her yearning in this sacred moment. She could visualize him, the small warm smile that once lit their home felt both near and painfully distant. "Please, Lord, take away his suffering," she implored silently, becoming one with the group as they created a tapestry of unity through prayer. Suddenly, an energy surged through the gathering, a palpable wave as the light brightened, illuminating the uncertainty that lingered within. The figure shifted, and something profound occurred. "Heed this wisdom," the voice echoed, strong yet gentle, "release what hinders your hearts. Cast away doubt, and embrace unyielding faith." Collective gasps filled the air, as revelatory understanding stirred among them. It was as if each word penetrated through to their very souls, igniting clarity. Would they dare to cast aside everything that weighed them down? The weight felt heavy, thick with history, regret, and worry. But the figure continued to beckon them forward, encouraging movement toward light and love. Lucy felt a shiver course through her limbs. The idea of releasing doubt felt both exhilarating and terrifying. What if we truly let go? She wondered aloud, words spilling from her heart. What would we gain? Whispers rippled among the villagers. "Freedom," came the response, fervent, bold. The light intensified, swirling and dancing, as if it were the very embodiment of their collective hope. Fear began to wane, replaced by a thrilling sense of liberation. Each villager began to reveal their burdens, their hopes spilling forth in a delightful cacophony of faith. As Lucy listened to the prayers unfurl, her own heart danced. Each declaration felt like a step towards the divine promise, an affirmation that their transformation was not just possible, it was inevitable. Could they break free of the chains and embrace the light? Amidst this outpouring, Mary, with her arms still raised high, proclaimed, "We are not just asking for miracles. We are becoming them." Lucy closed her eyes, feeling the warmth envelop her. That purity of intention sent a surge of energy through her spine. She let go, she released her doubts into the sky, trusting completely in the divine. And in that instant, the figure seemed to smile. Could they see it? The love radiated back at them, illuminating the path that lay ahead. "Prepare your hearts," the voice reverberated, tremors of anticipation weaving their way around them. "For you are on the threshing floor of transformation. Trust in the unfolding promise." A thunderous wave of excitement rippled through Lucy and her neighbors. The divine had ignited their passion, but a lingering question remained: what awaited them on this sacred journey of faith? As hope painted the night sky, they stood poised, hearts aflame with expectancy. What miraculous changes would they witness as they embraced their faith? The energy in the air felt heavier now, charged with purpose as the villagers stood together, hearts brimming with hope. Each face glowed with the light of shared conviction, gleaming under the watchful gaze of the figure that loomed like a promise on the horizon. "Let us not be afraid to move into the unknown." Mary's voice rang out once again, filled with a vibrant intensity that seemed to echo within every heart present. Her spirit illuminated the gathering, it was contagious. The group seemed to pulse with unity, each soul holding the other up as they prepared to take the step they had long yearned for. Lucy opened her eyes, and suddenly the world felt starkly real. Every breath was tinged with possibility. What happens next? She whispered to herself, feeling an urgent tug within her. It was a call to adventure, a beckoning to step beyond the threshold of their fears. "I don't want to hold back anymore," she declared, her voice gaining strength. Around her, heads bobbed in agreement, eyes shining with fervor. A ripple of determination traveled through the crowd. In that shared moment, a silent vow was struck: no longer would doubt have dominion over their hearts. The divine figure, a beacon in their midst, seemed to shift, sending a breeze that danced among the villagers, lifting their spirits higher. In that shimmering light, Lucy caught a glimpse of something magnificent, a vision of the community shining, united, thriving in grace. In this awakening, the pain of loss, like an anchor, felt lighter. Faces of loved ones lost to illness or despair emerged in her mind. "Mark, I will not forget you," Lucy whispered fiercely, a deep resolve settling in her heart. "You will become my motivation to push through the shadows." The figure's voice reverberated once more: "As you stand together, embrace this, your prayers are powerful tools. Each word holds the weight of your faith, each cry a step toward the miraculous. An uplifting murmur went through the crowd, and as more declarations filled the air, something remarkable began to unfold. Each prayer rose higher, laced with authenticity and sincerity. They were no longer just uttering words, they were weaving together a sacred tapestry, each thread reflecting their unwavering devotion. Lucy felt a warm glow in her chest. This is it, she realized, tears brimming in her eyes. This is what it means to believe, to transform our pain into power, our heartache into healing. Mary gestured passionately, and the group began to sway as collective spirit infused them with rhythm, a dance of joyful anticipation. Lucy stepped forward, swept along in the tide of faith that surged within her. They began to chant, voices rising like incense into the skies, a fragrant offering of hope. "Lord, hear our cries!" someone yelled, followed by a chorus of voices echoing, "Lord, hear our hearts." The night came alive with their fervor, a symphony of yearning that connected them not only to one another but to the divine itself. Lucy felt transported, as if the very essence of heaven intertwined with their communal plea. "My friends, believe!" Lucy cried, her voice growing soft yet resolute. "Believe that we are never truly alone. Our journey, filled with trials, is also blessed with purpose. God walks with us." With a final rush of energy, the villagers joined hands, forming a circle around the glowing figure. Lucy was overwhelmed by a warm rush, like waves enveloping a beach, calming yet invigorating. This was the moment that was to be cherished, forever anchored in their souls. Slowly, the light around the figure began to coalesce, taking forms that seemed more personal, more intimate, a heartbeat of love beating just for them. What will it mean to trust in this unfolding promise? She wondered, unable to shake the sentiment as the brightness enveloped them fully. The question lingered because, alongside faith, uncertainty often dances joyously. As the atmosphere crackled with electricity and hope radiated from their circle, they stood poised for profound change. Would they be ready to embrace whatever transformation awaited? But even amidst this palpable energy, a divine hush fell over the gathering, as if the universe held its breath in anticipation what awaited them just beyond the veil of their renewed faith. As the villagers stood in that sacred circle, enveloped by the light, time seemed to fold in upon itself. Each heartbeat echoed the deeper rhythm of connection, as if the universe was tuning into their collective spirit. The figure radiated warmth and reassurance, inviting them to lean into the unknown that beckoned like a horizon drenched in dawn's first light. "Feel it," Lucy murmured, tears flowing freely now. "This is our moment. The promise is here." Around her, others wiped their eyes, nodding in agreement, caught up in the swell of emotion. This was not merely a gathering, it was a kaleidoscope of hope and yearning, each soul offering a unique shade to the vibrant tapestry of faith being woven together. The night air tingled with energy, and above them, stars shimmered like distant glimmers of hope. Mary stepped towards the center, her voice steady, yet filled with fervor. "What we feel tonight is more than mere emotion. This is divine purpose igniting our spirits. Each prayer lifts us higher. Each tear sheds the weight of the past." "Yes!" a voice cried out from the crowd, erupting into cheers. "We are ready." With those words, Lucy felt a familiar presence washing over her, an inexplicable peace that grounded her even further in this sacred moment. This is what it means to dream together. To stand together, she thought, her heart swelling with gratitude. The figure seemed to shimmer in acknowledgement, the warmth intensifying. "You are loved," it declared. "You are cherished." Cries of joy erupted from the villagers, hands clasped together tighter. Lucy looked around, heart aflame with pride and purpose. Each person carried their own story, their own pain and hope, yet here they were, a mosaic of resilience. "Mark is watching," Lucy whispered, glancing up at the sky. "And he would be proud of us." With that thought nestled in her heart, she found strength to step back into the circle's center, adrenaline fueling her every action. "Let us call forth what we desire: the healing, the unity, the miracles." Voices rose in unison, harmonizing prayers, pledges, and proclamations, spiraling upwards like a dove taking flight. As they chanted, a rush of clarity washed over them, illuminating their individual dreams as intimately as it did their shared mission. Every request was valid, every aspiration a thread in the grand design they were weaving together. Lord, let the light within us shine. The heavens felt near, and Lucy swore she could sense a presence, almost tangible, between the spaces of their voices. It whispered of dreams fulfilled, of burdens lifted. In that moment, she asked, "What if we are on the brink of something monumental?" And just like that, silence fell once more. The electrifying energy turned palpable, reverberating in their minds and hearts. In that hush, a singular question echoed: what miracle awaited them now? An unsettling curiosity stirred within each villager, as they sensed the weight of the moment ready to unfold its divine nature. Amidst the silence, profound anticipation loomed. Hope coiled tightly around each heart, urging them forward into the embrace of the promise that shimmered just beyond their reach. Lucy inhaled deeply. Maybe, just maybe, they were being called to manifest their greatest heart's desires. But as they stood on this precipice of transformation, what sacrifices might be required? What strength would arise from each of them in the face of that challenge? The light brightened, sending a surge of excitement through the gathering. They were standing at the threshold, ready to step into the great unknown. What awaited them there would change everything. A hush blanketed the village as the light pulsed, throbbing with the rhythm of their unified hearts. In that sacred stillness, the air was saturated with an expectancy that felt heavy yet invigorating. Lucy's breath quickened, feeling the transformative energy wrapping around her like a warm embrace. Each villager seemed to hold their collective breaths, eyes wide and focused, as if waiting for the dawn after a long night. Then, the figure in the center radiated a golden glow, illuminating the entire circle. Lucy felt her heart skip. It's time, she thought. The whispers of doubt that fluttered in her mind began to lose their grip, swept away by the surge of faith flowing among them. Open your hearts. Mary's voice rang clear again, piercing through the silence. Trust in what is coming. We are vessels, ready to receive. Her fervor was like a match struck in darkness, lighting the way for all. As if inspired by her words, a soft breeze began to swirl around them, carrying with it lunar scents of jasmine and fresh earth. Each inhalation filled them with a sense of grounding, every exhalation releasing burdens they had been carrying. Let us unshackle our fears, shouted a young man at the edge of the gathering. Let us rise like the sun. The crowd answered with a chorus of amen. Bodies leaned forward, hands raised high in offering to the divine that filled the air with vibrancy. Lucy closed her eyes, feeling the swell of emotions rise in her chest. She recalled moments of despair, seeking and questioning, searching for the light when shadows loomed large. But here, amongst everyone, she felt a knowing. This was not just about individual healing, it was collective salvation. A deep-rooted belief flickered to life, igniting her spirit anew. Unity is our strength. A voice, laden with conviction, broke through the evening whispers. Old Mrs. Brown, once frail and wrapped in worry, stood with a resolute posture. Through our love and faith, we stand together. No one among us shall falter. With each word, the lighting shimmered brighter. A collective gasp arose from the villagers. They could feel the anticipation growing, melding into something raw and powerful. The veil between the seen and the unseen thinned, revealing threads of possibility that reached into their hearts. What if? Lucy almost gasped, her eyes flickering open, their depth glistening. What if this moment is not just about us but for those beyond our village? What if we are destined to ignite a chain of miracles across lands far and wide? Her heart raced. The energy shifted, rippling through the crowd like electricity. They locked eyes, sensing an invitation deeper than mere words, the chance to be the catalysts of change. A gentle rustle of leaves accompanied the realization. The divine was inviting them to step out and act. Then, without warning, a radiant light burst from the figure, cascading over them like a waterfall of golden sparks. Each villager shivered in delight, illuminated from within. In that moment, visions danced before their eyes. Scenes of healing and reunions, laughter echoing in open fields, and hope ignited from despair played out like a sacred film. Lucy's heart surged. "The time is now," she exclaimed, pulling everyone closer. "Let us take the leap of faith. Each of us has a role in the unfolding story. Together, we can manifest our wildest dreams." They cheered, hands still tightly clasped, voices lifting higher into the dark, star-studded sky. As their chants intertwined with the sparkles of light, Lucy couldn't help but wonder what other truths lie waiting to be revealed. And what deeper understanding of love were they yet to uncover? In this extraordinary moment, they were not just participants but active players in a divine unfolding. What awaited them in the days to come? A stillness fell over the gathering as the sparks of light settled, fading to a gentle glow. The villagers looked around, amazed, their hearts still aflame with possibility. The air felt different, charged with an unspoken promise. The moment hung delicately between what was and what could be. Lucy stood at the center, feeling energized. She sensed the weight of their dreams resting on their shoulders, each heart a vessel brimming with hope. "We must not let fear anchor us," she cried, her voice infused with fervor. "Let every doubt fall away like autumn leaves. God is ready to work through us." Mary nodded, her gaze firm. "What if we began to share our dreams?" she proposed, her voice a gentle rallying call. "What if we let our visions pour forth, inviting the divine to bless them?" The villagers stirred, glancing at one another with encouragement shimmering in their eyes. One by one, stories began to spill out, dreams of healing the sick, of feeding the hungry, of rebuilding homes, and planting gardens. Each narrative painted a vivid picture of the futures they wished to manifest. A young girl stepped forward, her voice small but steady. "I want to sing for those who can't hear the beauty of the world. I want my voice to touch their hearts." A ripple of affirmation washed over them. The girl's vision became a thread, woven into the collective tapestry of their hopes. "Yes. We can do this," someone shouted from the back, emboldened by her declaration. "Together, we can make waves of kindness that reach far beyond our village." With newfound vigor, they began to share their dreams openly, and each declaration sparked a response, hands clasped tighter, voices rising, and hearts intertwining in a symphony of faith. Lucy felt a deep stirring within her. "What if we form a circle of intentions?" she suggested, her voice resonating with excitement. "Let us promise to support one another. We can send our love out into the world, like seeds carried by the wind." The idea ignited an electric current in the air. They gathered together, forming a circle that shimmered with the energy of united intention. As they closed their eyes, their breaths synchronized, and Lucy invited them to envision their wishes taking flight. "Imagine the healing, the brightness piercing through the dark. Picture each of our dreams blossoming, sending roots down into fertile ground," she urged softly. The villagers began to visualize, their faces glowing with anticipation, smiles bursting forth as they connected with the essence of their desires. Suddenly, a hush fell once more, thick with sacredness. It felt as if the heavens themselves were watching a moment suspended in time, echoing with profound meaning. Each villager sensed that they were on the brink of something monumental. Then, a soft sound broke the stillness. Whispers filled the air, delicate yet powerful, as if the winds themselves were carrying their intentions upward toward the divine. Eyes fluttered open, glistened with tears of joy, hope radiating from every heart. Mary raised her hands, a beacon of encouragement. "Let us declare together. As one voice, we will share this, take it to the world." In that moment, they chanted a mantra of hope and love, believing wholly in the manifestation of their dreams. Yet, a question lingered in Lucy's heart as they sang, sensing both the joy and the magnitude of what lay before them. could their love truly spark a new reality? What divine miracles awaited them as they stepped forward into this brave new journey? The echoes of their voices soared higher, wrapping around them like a warm cloak, as they delved deeper into the mystery yet to unfold. The energy in the circle crackled, a balm for the souls gathered there. Each villager felt the divine rhythm coursing through their hearts, uniting them in a purpose that transcended the ordinary. They had shared their dreams, and now, they could feel something sacred stirring among them. Lucy opened her eyes, filled with soft light as if she had seen a glimpse of heaven. "What if we commit to this journey together?" she proposed. "With every act of kindness, with each prayer, let us build this vision brick by brick." A murmur of agreement rippled through the group. "Yes," Mary added, "we can be the hands and feet of grace. Our dreams will act as guiding stars in the darkness." One by one, villagers began to offer their visions of how to serve. John spoke of creating a community garden, a patch of earth where all could come together to grow food and share bounties. "By planting together, we cultivate not just the land, but our bonds," he said, enthusiasm lighting up his face. Elena, a kind-hearted woman with an infectious spirit, suggested hosting weekly gatherings to foster connection. "We will share meals, stories, and laughter. There's so much healing in unity," she proclaimed, her voice soaring with hope. As these ideas circulated, Lucy felt waves of gratitude wash over her. "Let us set a date. In 3 weeks, we will gather again, not just to share our plans but to celebrate what God has begun. We will invite the whole village." The thought sent ripples of excitement through the group. They envisioned the community square filled with laughter, delicious food, and stories weaving together lives and dreams like the threads of a colorful fabric. But then, a shadow flickered in the back of Lucy's mind, a nagging doubt that tugged at her heart. What if it doesn't work? What if our efforts fall flat? The silent worry whispered, a fleeting thought that felt all too familiar. She took a deep breath, centering herself once more in the collective faith of the gathered villagers. "We must remember, every great movement begins with a gentle step. It's the intention behind our actions that draws heaven's favor." Just as she spoke, a soft breeze drifted through the circle, and it felt like a touch from the divine. The villagers raised their arms as if in acceptance of a heavenly blessing, and tears sprang to Lucy's eyes, tears of joy mixed with the vulnerability of their shared hope. Suddenly, the young girl who had first inspired them stepped forward again. "Can I sing for us now?" she asked, her voice trembling yet filled with resolve. "Absolutely," Lucy encouraged. As the sweet notes flowed from the girl's lips, a light seemed to wrap around them all, lifting them higher. This was not just a song, it was a prayer, a melody of dreams being offered in faith. Each villager felt the resonant sound fill their hearts, igniting embers of courage. They swayed gently, letting the music weave through their spirits, binding them together in a shared purpose. Soon after the song quieted, a sense of stillness enveloped them once more. They stood in that sacred space of silence, soaking in the peace that followed. Then, a curious thought danced in Lucy's heart. "What next, Lord? What further revelations do you have for us in this journey?" She closed her eyes and whispered her question, seeking guidance. As they dispersed, the weight of what lay ahead, the challenges, the moments of grace, the transformations hovered in the air. Each villager carried a beautiful, trembling promise of unfolding miracles. Was this merely the beginning? Were there deeper layers of divine miracles waiting to surface, hidden just below the horizon? The answer hung in the air, filled with potential and wonder. The dawn broke gently over the village, spilling soft light across the hills as if a divine artist had brushed the horizon gold. There was a palpable excitement buzzing among the villagers. Today was the day when the promise of transformation would become their reality. Lucy stood at the window, her heart light yet steady, filled with a profound sense of purpose that directed her every move. As members of the community gathered at the square, Lucy felt the spirits of her neighbors lift with anticipation. They had come together not just to fulfill intentions, but to celebrate the deep well of love intertwined in their hearts. Each face she saw radiated a unique glow born of shared faith. Today would be a testimony of their resilience. Amidst the chatter and laughter, the glow of shared dreams hung thick in the air. "This is it," Lucy called, her voice a beacon amidst the growing excitement. "Today we bring our offerings to kindling." Each act, each word shared will resonate far beyond this moment. The attention shifted toward a makeshift stage adorned with flowers and twinkling lights. As the sun climbed higher, casting golden rays, Lucy's eyes glistened with tears of joy. "Let us share our dreams, my friends. Let our hearts sing together." Elena stepped forward first, her vivacious spirit shining. "Today, we unveil the community garden, a healing space where we can plant seeds of hope," she announced. The crowd erupted in cheers, voices harmonizing in approval, each clap echoing a collective dream. Next up, John shared plans for his community gathering initiative, where stories, laughter, and meals would feed their souls. "We'll nourish our bodies and our spirits together," he proclaimed, his voice unwavering. More applause followed, wrapping around them like a warm embrace. With every presentation, the villagers felt their individual visions crystallize into shared reality. The air hung pregnant with potential, each idea blending seamlessly into the woven tapestry of community revival. Lucy's heart soared, their unity transcended mere words, it felt like manna cascading from the heavens. Then came a moment of stillness that blanketed the square. It was a pause heavy with anticipation, the kind that leads to divine outpouring. The figure of light that had once graced their gathering now felt an integral part of their collective consciousness. Just as they'd shed their fears, they remembered those moments of light that guided them. "We invite the spirit of giving and sharing to manifest in our lives," Lucy declared, her voice blending with the winds. "As we share here, we believe the blessings will stretch beyond our small village." And in that instant, something incredible happened. A gust of wind swept through the square, mingled with warm sunlight, wrapping around each villager like a divine hug. The sensation surged like electricity, sparking a symphonic murmuring of gratitude from the gathered souls. In unison, they all lifted their hands, eyes closed, feeling a flood of divine connection. Lucy took a moment to recall every prayer, every vision, every act since that fateful evening when their hope first ignited. That night under the light, their hearts became one, pouring forth not just dreams, but strength. And then, out of nowhere, she heard the sweet melody of the young girl's song from their previous gathering, illuminating their shared purpose. "We are becoming the miracles," she had claimed. It resonated within Lucy, echoing back to its roots. "This moment is what we've prayed for," Lucy exclaimed, her voice now lifting, a bridge carrying their hearts to new horizons. "Let us embark on this journey hand in hand. We stand stronger together." Laughter and joy erupted, wrapping their spirits in warmth. The figure cloaked in light returned to Lucy's mind, the promise of healing and hope pulling them deeper into unity. Mark, she thought of him, his spirit so entwined with hers, she felt lighter even in his absence. "We will see your legacy carried in every seed we plant," she whispered. As the sun began to set, the villagers gathered once more, heartbeats synchronized in a celebration of promises fulfilled. They danced, their laughter filled the crisp air and twirled in the petals of the flowers. They shared stories, celebrated victories, and each interaction formed a sacred bond their humble village transformed into a bastion of love. That night, as Lucy lay in her bed, she felt unburdened, inhaling a peaceful promise that washed over her. Her heart, once frayed and worried, brimmed with renewed strength. This journey had awakened a revelation: true transformation flowed from unity, and in embracing one another, they discovered a part of themselves they never imagined existed. She understood then that the divine did not merely grant miracles, it conspired with those willing to act, to believe, to become the miracles themselves. In the months that followed, they experienced a multitude of gifts, connections flourished, health blossomed, and lives intertwined with purpose. Each of them once drifting souls had now become integral threads in a powerful tapestry. As the village pulsed with faith and radiance, Lucy breathed in a new life. When dressed in the light of the collective, all things were possible. She felt an urge that prayer was never meant to be solitary. Her heart whispered into the depths of the night, "This is only the beginning." The community glowed brightly, their stories cascading like the falling stars above, eager to share their testimonies with the world. And for anyone witnessing the unfolding of their journey, pertaining only to their transforming stories, the message rang clear: don't just watch this transformation unfold, join it. Embrace love, let go of fear, and manifest the miracles in your own lives and those around you. This is the moment that calls for action, the moment for a collective uprising of hope. Are you ready? Subscribe immediately to the channel to not miss the next exclusive faith stories, flooding your heart with transformative power. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and share this movement with the world. Comment your reactions and testimonies about this divine journey, because your voice matters. And share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this manifestation. Don't let them miss the call of faith. Join us, for true servants of God thrive in unity and support. The time is now.